Hi everyone and welcome to Display Repair. In this video we're going to show you how to use a multimeter. If you're a DIYer, this is one instrument that you should know how to use. Very useful, very practical, very versatile, and it will help you in getting a good idea of what the electric or electronic problem is and helping you in diagnosing the problem. So I hope this video helps. Stay tuned.
DisplayRepair.com. Be sure to visit us at our website displayrepair.com, where you can find more useful car and driving tips.
Now, through this video, we're going to show you what are some of the basic characteristics of a multimeter, how to use it, what do all of these gauges mean, how to connect the probes properly, and so on. But before we start, I must mention two very important things. The first one is that I'm showing you this on my 30-year-old multimeter, okay? So it's seen a lot of action, it's a bit dirty, it's a bit beaten up, but it still does its task properly even to this day. But even if you buy a new multimeter, if you have a bit of a different layout, for instance, you might not have this option or this option here, the power button may be somewhere else or something like that, the basic principle is the same. Okay, so whatever multimeter you have out there, brand new, used, this tutorial should help. Even if you have an analog multimeter, which means that instead of a digital display, you have a scale with the needle. Again, the basic principle is the same and you can apply this tutorial. The analog instruments are all but extinct. You know, rarely do people use these because the digital one is more precise. But again, if you have one, this tutorial may also help. The other thing that is very important, make sure that, and especially pay attention to this if you have an older multimeter like this one, or you've perhaps bought a used one. Pay attention to the structural integrity. Mainly, pay attention that the housing on the multimeter is not cracked, especially on the part where you will hold the multimeter with your hands. And also, and pay special attention to the cables going from the connections here to these probes right here. Especially pay attention to the connections where the cable meets the probe and the cables meet the sockets right here. If these are damaged, if you see naked wires or something like that, if you see that these handles are broken or damaged, either replace these completely, okay, replace the whole cables. You can buy replacement parts or at least insulate them and then use them. If you don't do this, if there are bare wires and if you get in touch with alternating current, for instance, you want to measure the voltage on your house installation, you can get electrocuted. If you see that the housing on the multimeter is broken and that there is danger for you to get in touch with electricity, I would recommend to not use the multimeter at all. Now, first, we'll start the explanation with the whole display right here. We'll start from top to bottom. First of all, you have a power button. So simply power off, power on. On most multimeters, if you don't use it for a couple of minutes, it automatically turns off. When you turn it on the display, you'll see the coma right here. This moves depending on the value you set, and also you will see what you are measuring. For instance, here are kilo ohms, here are volts, millivolts, volts in alternating current, and so on. After this, you have this big central rotational switch and this scale, which shows you what in fact you are measuring. We'll start from here. First, you have resistance, which is in ohms. Kilo ohms, mega ohms, and so on. Also, you can measure the resistance with sound. You can also measure diodes with sound. We'll show you that later. Next, you have direct current voltage. For people who don't know, there is direct current and alternating current. To simplify, direct current is used on cars. So if you're going to measure something on your car, pickup truck, or something like that, you will use the setting for direct current. If you're measuring something in the household, you will use alternating current. The sign for direct current is this straight line with the intermittent one other. For alternating current, it is this wave line right here. Okay, as you can see it, for the amperage, you also have the same marking. So on cars, you use direct current. For the household, you use alternating current. So this is for direct current voltage. This is for alternating current voltage. This is for measuring temperature. We'll explain that later together with this part right here. This is for measuring amperage in alternating current. amperage for direct current. This is for measuring capacity in farads, and that's it. Okay. What is the resistance, voltage, amperage, and capacity is standard for any multimeter out there, as much as I've seen. What may be additional is measuring the temperature and measuring are transistors okay or not. Here you have a socket for a probe. I've lost the probe, to be honest with you. The probe is on a cable. You touch the surface of something and you can measure the temperature. Here you insert the transistor and you can measure is the transistor okay or not. This slot here is for measuring condensers, so you insert it in this slot and see if it is okay or not. Now I'll show you the part when you are measuring resistance with sound. We'll soon explain what measuring resistance means and how to use it on a car. So you got this little note here and you got the diode sign, and if you connect these two, you'll see that there is zero resistance and you will hear a sound. Very good feature, because when you're measuring resistance, it also gives you an audio sign, which is very practical when checking the installation on a car. You don't have to watch the display, you can get a sound. What's also very, very important when using this scale right here, as you can see, I'll use the direct current voltage as an example. You have 220, 200, 1000. When you are measuring something, always make sure that the setting for the value is higher than the value you are measuring. To simplify, you want to check the alternator voltage on your car, which should be in a 12 volt installation, 14.5 volts. So you set the measurement to 20 volts. You have to measure 14.5, you'll set it to 20. Why? Because if you were to set it to 2, that would be too small. And if you set it to 20, 14.5 is less than 20 but more than 2. If you want to, for instance, measure direct current voltage of 150 volts, you set it to 200 volts because 150 volts is more than 20 but less than 200. If you want to measure 500 volts, you'll set it to 1000 because that is higher than 500. It is always good to know the nominal value of what you are measuring and then set the value on the instrument according to it. We'll make another example for alternating current. You want to measure the voltage on your home installation. And for instance, in my country, it is 220 volts. In that case, I have a measurement for 200 and 700 volts. For 220, I will set it to 700 volts because 200 volts is too small. Always make sure that the value is bigger than the one you are measuring. The last part I want to explain are these cables here and these markings right here. If you're going to use the multimeter mainly for a car, this is the setting you will mostly use unless you are going to measure amperage. The red socket right here should be on this marking where the volts/ohms are. And that is for the plus connection, for the plus red tester. And this is for the minus one, which will always be connected in here on COM. You can take these connectors out. As you can see, there's a connector, there's a socket. So when you want to measure voltage and ohms resistance, make sure it is in this configuration. If you want to measure amperage, know that you have to take out this connector and put it into one of these. If you want to measure milliamperes and 200 milliamperes maximum in this case, you insert it right here. If you want to measure 20 amperes maximum, as you can see here, you insert it right here. But again, in my case, I mostly use this for measuring voltage and for measuring resistance, so I just leave it here. What is also important on this part, as you can see all of these markings, and be sure to read them on your multimeter. They tell you the limitation of the instrument. So for instance, when everything is connected here, you can measure 1000 volts direct current, 700 volts alternate current maximum. If you go anything above that, you can fry a fuse inside the multimeter. We'll make a video about that, how to change that fuse and the battery, or you can even damage the multimeter itself, okay, the electronics inside if you go above this. What is even more important, always pay attention when measuring amperage. If you go over, in this case, 200 milliamperes or 20 amperes maximum, you can damage the instrument and again burn this fuse inside. Now, dear viewers, how to use the multimeter? Well, it is very simple. You have the red probe and the black probe. the red probe is the plus, the black probe is the minus. What is very important when measuring the voltage and the amperage, be sure to put plus on plus and minus on minus. For instance, if you used it to measure battery voltage on a car and if you were to switch the poles, you wouldn't get a good reading. When measuring the resistance, that pretty much doesn't matter. Now, to clarify that part, which is really important, when you are measuring voltage and amperage, you are measuring a current. It may be 12 volts, it may be 120 volts, 220 volts, it doesn't matter. These probes measure that value and gives you a reading on this display. But when you are measuring resistance, there is no current inside the cable. What you are measuring is the resistance between, for instance, if this is a cable in the car's installation, you are measuring resistance between point A and point B. Why is this so important to do? Well, if you have a broken cable, severed cable somewhere in the car's installation, it will tell you that something is wrong. Also, what you must know, when measuring the resistance, when you put the setting to ohms through a battery that is installed inside, the multimeter sends a small current through the wire, through the installation, and that way it measures the resistance and sees if the cable is broken or not. For instance, if you want to check some sort of connector, if you want to check this wire, and for instance, this wire goes further into the car's installation to another connector, you put one side of the probe in here, and we touch the other side right here. And if we were to check this on the car, this was a connector to a headlight or something, you would know that the cable is intact and that you have connection to the other device, the other connector, to the light or something like that, whatever, you'll know that it is okay. If you were to now sever this line, if you were to cut it, of course, the value would again be 1. We'll make another example. For instance, we're going to check this fuse. As you can see, the fuse is okay. And let's say it's on the car. So you put one tester here, one tester over here, like you would on the car, and you can see that it reads 0 kilo ohms. If you put it on 2 mega ohms, it will just show also 0, but with the comma sign moving to the left, okay, for decimal place. We're gonna show you the sound effect. I'm gonna use this connector, put one probe here, the other probe right here, and if you hear a sound, the cable is okay and there is a connection. So once more, when you're measuring resistance, you mainly use it to see in the car's installation or in the household installation if there is an interruption in the installation, if there's a damaged cable, severed cable, or something like that. Also, you can use it to test fuses, test connectors, and whatnot. Now, dear viewers, I'm going to show you one more example on how to use the multimeter, this time with alternating current. I am going to measure the voltage on my home installation. Now, as I mentioned, when doing this, make sure that everything on the multimeter is okay, that the housing is okay, that the probes are okay, that there are no torn cables, torn wires, torn connections, because alternating current is dangerous. If you have an instrument that is faulty, do not do this. The first thing you should do is to make the proper setting, turn it to alternating current. In this case, we're gonna set it to 700 volts because my home installation is 220 volts. So since I have 200 and 700 volts as an option, 200 would be too small. I'm gonna set it to 700. Also, what's important is that there is AC written here, voltage and AC. So it's measuring alternating current. Now we are going to insert the probes into the socket. Again, when using them, best use them like this. Don't go with your fingers near the metal parts of the probe. So insert them into the socket and make sure they have contact with the metal parts inside the socket. And the multimeter reads 235 volts, which is okay. The nominal value is 220 volts, so it's a bit above that. So this is one more good use for the multimeter. For instance, you can check the voltage, is it higher or lower, and perhaps that way you can save some appliances from damage. You can see if the socket is okay and whatnot. So dear viewers, that's it. For beginners, it may be mind-boggling this part right here, what is for what, the ohms, the voltage, the direct current, alternating current. But as you've seen, it's all very easy to use. The main thing to remember is that there is a direct current and alternate current. Don't mix those two. Mostly, if you're going to use it for measuring things around cars, you're going to use direct current. Also make sure that the cables, that the probes and everything else are well insulated, that they are intact, and make sure that you always choose a bigger value on the instrument than the one you are measuring. When you learn how to use this, it may save you a lot of time, a lot of money. It will help you at least get an idea of what may be wrong with your car regarding the electrics and electronics. That's it for this time, dear viewers. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It's a huge help for what we're doing. Also, if you find the time, watch our other videos where we show you lots of things about car maintenance, lots of things that you can do on your own, about driving, and all in all about car related topics. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.